How do you get a second round draft pick for literally nothing? How does a contender pay you to take on one of the biggest contracts in the NHL? Patrik Laine is not the answer to the Canucks' problems. In fact, he's the problem another team is trying to solve. There was a time when the idea of Laine becoming a Vancouver Canuck would have been wildly exciting, but those days are long gone. Laine is a shadow of his former self, and honestly, even the old Laine probably couldn't save this doomed 25-26 campaign. But here's the turn. Laine's contract, that is something the Canucks could profit from immensely by literally being paid to take it on. The value isn't in the player, it's in the $8.7 million on his expiring deal. Today, we break down the financial engineering that makes Patrik Laine the single most valuable non-player asset the Canucks could acquire this season.
Power play goal. Nhl'S. Worked it free from Henderson. Got it to Besser in front. Backhander scores. The puck back in. Campoli trying to clear it. Burrows is crushed. Got the puck loose to Edmonds. Back in for Alex Burrows. It's up in the air. Now McKinnon to the side. No! With the left glove. Are you kidding me? What a save.
Hey, Canucks Nation. Brandon Alston here, play-by-play for the Edmonton Canucks. You've got it locked in the line change. Vancouver Canucks podcast.
What's up, Canuck fans? Welcome to the Line Change, a Vancouver Canucks podcast. The perfect trade partner here is the Montreal Canadiens. Not only do they have the largest cap dump in Laine, but they also have the least available cap space in the entire league. Puckpedia have the Habs at a scant $920,000 in cap space, projected to grow to maybe $1.5 million by the trade deadline. That is nowhere near enough space to make a move. They are holding on to second place in the Atlantic Division, but they desperately need flexibility. They can't even activate Alex Nhl'S and his $2.9 million contract off the IR without shedding some cap. They can't add at the deadline, and sitting still would likely cost them their playoff spot. Laine is the singular logjam. He's an $8.7 million player, as we mentioned, who contributes nothing to their roster. A contending team cannot afford that massive cap inefficiency. Paying a draft pick to shed Laine is simply the quote-unquote cost of doing business. It is cheaper to lose a third rounder than it is to lose a playoff spot. The Canucks, meanwhile, are in a perfect position to absorb this hit with no real issue. We are projecting about $6.8 million in available spending space by the trade deadline. This is a perishable asset. It is unused money that simply vanishes. But by acquiring Laine's deal, the Canucks effectively convert that dead cap space into a tangible long-term asset, a high draft pick. To accommodate Laine's $8.7 million hit, they simply need to clear the marginal difference. The likely departures of players like Evander Kane and Teddy Blueger open up that space very easily. And if Vancouver wanted maximum flexibility, they could place injured players like Thatcher Demko or Philip Hedl on LTIR to clear even more room, allowing them to take on Laine and even another smaller dump simultaneously. Laine's current injury is actually a feature, not a bug. With his late October surgery, he's likely spending the remainder of the season in the press box, ensuring his $8.7 million contract doesn't disrupt team chemistry or take ice time from our younger, more deserving forwards post-deadline. This is where the price is determined. The Canadiens have their full array of draft picks and a boatload of prospects. They are desperate for flexibility, and Laine is one of the only major expiring dumps this year. This scarcity drives the price up for cap brokers like Vancouver. What's the going rate for this kind of financial relief? In comparable historical deals, teams paid a high draft pick, often a second or a high third, to offload a contract with no roster player coming back. For Laine's $8.7 million cap hit and the immediate flexibility it provides, the compensation is substantial. It's hard to think of a reason why the Canadiens wouldn't be comfortable offering at least a third-round pick or a solid prospect as the floor, given the urgency and the scarcity of other options. The bidding could easily climb to a second-round pick. Unused cap space does not roll over. It is a perishable asset. By converting it into a future draft pick, the Canucks maximize their financial flexibility for the future. The simple math is that the Canucks can afford Patrik Laine's contract more than they can afford to pass up free future assets. This is smart, low-risk financial engineering, and they should absolutely make this deal. Now, I'd like to thank my main and primary sponsor of this video, none other than DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, is built for the fastest game on ice. With player props and live betting, every shift, every shot, every save gives you options to get in on the game with DraftKings Sportsbook. New customers bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN, that's code THPN, to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, wager tax pass-through may apply in Illinois, 21 plus in most states. Void in Ontario, restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets, which will expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. This is a limited time offer. Copyright 2026 NHL, all rights reserved. This video has been a presentation of DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours, as well as the Hockey Podcast Network. Be sure to check out the network for your favorite team covering your favorite podcast covering your favorite team at the hockeypodcastnetwork.com, the home of hockey podcasts, where it's every team, everywhere. Now, if you guys enjoyed this breakdown of Patrik Laine and him being a potential flippable cap dump in the future, be sure to hit that like button and be sure to subscribe to the Line Change and have your notifications turned on so you don't miss more in-depth analysis of the Vancouver Canucks. Also, if you have already, thank you to those who have purchased Line Change merch on our official merchandise store. If you haven't yet, be sure to check it out. We have some sales going on. Obviously, right now we are selling our 1-year anniversary collection, which is available the linechangepodcast.threadless.com. Also, if you want to have more discussions and conversations such as like this one, join our official Discord. There's a link to it in the description down below. It's completely free to join. Also, if you want to interact with us on social media, we're everywhere: Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, even Blue Sky. Feel free to give us a follow on all of our social media platforms. Speaking of platforms, if you prefer an audio version of this podcast, you can find us on both Spotify and Apple Podcast. On Spotify, feel free to give us a follow, as well as rate and review us on either platform. It is, of course, greatly appreciated. Also, if there is an episode that you just couldn't get enough of and want to watch and or listen to over and over again, you can download your favorite episode as well. That, too, also really helps out the podcast. And, of course, we are greatly appreciative of it as well. Once again, drop your comments down below. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the next Line Change.